Biometrics is changing the way security and technology integrate. My name is Angela Ellis, and this is Information Technology Management 550, summer 2015. Due to the tremendous growth over the last decade in all aspects of information access and sharing, the need for biometric-based authentication as a discretionary access tool into secure resources or systems has become an urgent concern to protect all users in a more comprehensive way. Biometric security is on a sharp growth curve. According to a number of research reports that I've come across during this process, the technology is on the rise, in large part due to the fact that many mobile users have become comfortable using tools such as fingerprint identification, which accounts for a huge chunk of what's happening today with biometrics, for access. And because unlike password-based methods, biometrics provide strong authentication by which someone cannot later replicate. The definition of biometrics is the process by which a person's unique physical and other traits are detected and recorded by an electronic device or system as a means of confirming identity. You'll see here that I have it separated out into two different characteristics or categories of biometric identifiers. One is physiological and the other is behavioral. Biometric authentication is used in computer science as a form of identification and access control. It ensures safe and secure communication and interaction among users, as well as protects them from security breaches in theory, credit card fraud, identity theft, criminal online activities, and cyberbullying. Physiological characteristics include, they're all related to the body, like the fingerprint, palm veins, facial recognition, DNA, palm print, hand geometry, iris recognition, retinal and or odor or scent recognition. It's pretty cool. Behavioral characteristics are related to the pattern of behaviors and are very unique to each individual, like typing rhythm, gait, and voice. Biometric market is a pretty big deal right now. It's worth $2 billion just this year, 2015. So talking about this year, how we are utilizing biometrics globally, I came up with a pie chart here to break it down for you. The AFIS, which stands for the Automated Fingerprint Identification and Criminal History System maintained by the FBI, they utilize 16% of biometric technology for that, or that's how much 16% of it is being utilized this year. 15% of total biometric is fingerprints alone, which is using the private sector, people like us using our phones, or I use it in a Pixis system to get medication out for patients. Hand recognition is only 1%. That's this one right here. Face recognition is 15%. Iris recognition, 16%. Vein recognition, like in the palm, is 10%. Voice recognition is 13%. Signature recognition is 10%. And other is 4%. I'm going to touch on the other here in just a little bit with some exciting new technology that's underway. How do biometrics work? What are their system types? There's two. The traditional biometric is just a one layer. It analyzes one source of data that relies on that feature of the hardware, the sensor, a match level, a rank level, and a decision level. Multimodal biometric analyzes multiple sources of data. It combines all features of traditional and adds the fusion model that you see there listed on the bottom of my second column there. It takes individual data and combines it in order to obtain the authentication result. Imposter or genuine user, that's basically what we want. It has increased accuracy, fewer enrollment problems, and enhanced security. I wanted to give you a visual of the difference between the multimodal and the actual just one layer. The one layer is the top line there, just a fingerprint by itself. But if you add the fingerprint in the person's specific gait, you get that FU in the center that stands for fusion model, FU for fusion, and that's that extra step, that extra layer of security that makes it more of a precise result of accept or reject. Biometrics technology works by comparing a specific part of the human body with data on file for purposes of authentication, identification, or even health monitoring, as I've seen in my practice. Every Biometric systems different, but they all operate under the same basic three steps: enrollment, storage, and comparison. In the case of authentication, the first time you use the biometric system, it records basic information about you, but like your name and your identification number, that kind of thing. It then captures an image or recording of your specific biometric trait. But contrary to what you may see in the movies, most systems don't store the complete image or recording, but instead analyze your trait and translate it into a code or graph called a template. The next time you use the system, it compares the trait you present to the information file. Then, based on that comparison, it accepts or rejects your request. This, again, the multimodal is just that extra step. Some of the pros and cons to biometrics, or you can word it as risks and benefits. I'm going to start with the cons or the risks. I'd like to list here for consideration. The biggest risk is a breach of individual privacy. This can be done by a system vulnerability. There's several points where a system can be vulnerable that we're all aware of. Workstations, servers, databases, mainframes all come into play. Even things like vendors and customers and partners that are outside sources can definitely cause vulnerability. System circumvention involves using systems in ways that they just weren't intended. Hackers fall into this category. Verification fraud, using somebody else's biometrics, either by coercion or other means like getting a hold of someone's iris picture, printing it out on a fax, and actually being able to digitally put that onto a contact lens, and the perpetrator can use it. Hill climbing attack is something that employs a pattern of recognition method that allows for guessing the reference data by successfully changing the input features to provide a more accurate match. And once the match is good enough to fall within the threshold, the system is fooled into allowing access. With that to me would be the easiest one to protect against in my mind. Enrollment fraud. Are you who you say you are to begin with? You can use all your specific biometric features, but if you are presenting as an individual you're not, that's a huge issue. And unauthorized surveillance is the end result of of all these things. If they get into a system and break it down, that can happen. Or also, if everything is working order and the government or someone in that system wants to surveillance you, they have a lot of intimate data. So the ethics part there comes into play big time with individual privacy. Benefits, our government will tell us that border security is much more secure because we'll be able to use biometrics to see if people are who they say they are. Verifying employment, identifying criminals, combating terrorism. In the private sector, identifying friends easily and quick, accurate access to places, products, and services in our ever fast-changing world. These are things that consumers are looking for. The future of biometrics is exciting. Brain printing is something I'd like to introduce. It's a multimodal discriminative characterization of brain morphology using EEG biometric. EEG are electric waves that your brain emits every time it comes into contact with a source, and that's what they're measuring here. Heart research, we use EEGs actually in surgery every day when we do neurosurgery to monitor a patient's nerve endings and how their brain is responding to our intervention. So this is something that is very much in use daily now. Current research to find the perfect combo of infallible and convenient biometric-based security has led to this brain printing. Apple's Touch iPhone 6, I think it was, when it first came out, was hacked a couple days after it went into the market, proving that our current biometrics and practice is flawed, for sure. Research from the vast Center of Cognition, Brain, and Language in Spain suggests that individuals' brain waves could be one day used as a security solution, and I don't think that one day is very far off. Brain waves and their potential for use in human biometric identification was first uncovered in 2013, so this is very new stuff, but it rose to the surface again just now because of hacks, internet hoaxes, and scams are at all-time high now. Phishing attacks are very common on the web. Humanity knows that passwords they're just not secure enough to remain the universal standards forever. Examining so-called past thoughts can already serve as a way to distinguish humans, and that's what's happening here. A team led by Blair Armstrong, this is her here, head of the Bass Center on Cognition, Brain and Language, recorded brainwaves of 45 individuals as they read through a list of 75 acronyms such as DVD and FBI. The team scored a 94% accuracy rating in using these brainwaves in the patients to distinguish who they were, identifying them correctly. So it's pretty much a big deal. This team who did the research is enacting this funny skit. So go ahead and hit play. If you have a black box that comes out, go ahead and hit on that too. It might work. And if for some reason your system's not compatible and it did not embed, go ahead to this YouTube site and view this video. It's worth it. It's very short and it puts a funny spin on it. And it's an idea, and this is how it's going to create that combo, hopefully, of infallibility and convenience and biometrics that will be lucrative, a very lucrative endeavor for whomever can actually get this patent in first, because the global biometrics market, like I said earlier, is going to grow from today's value of $2 billion to $14.9 billion by 2024.
People are more different than two EEGs connected from the same time. Using this fact, we are able to achieve over 90% identification accuracy using an EEG vibration.
So I have some questions for you guys to ponder and hopefully get back with some answers to me as you post this week and look this over. Do you think the benefits outweigh the risks in the biometric security domain in cyber world? Let me know what you think about that. And which forms of biometrics are the riskiest in your opinion, and why? Specifically, what do you think about these brain printing that I'm finding extremely fascinating given my clinical experience in neuroscience? And can you name other places that you find biometrics embedded in your daily interactions, other than fingerprinting that we use on our iPhones all the time? I want something else that you can think of creatively. I mean, when I was doing this research, I was just on Facebook one day putting some pictures, and as you tag people's names, you see as you're getting ready to tag it, their name will pre-populate if you're on their picture. And I think that probably is some level of facial recognition there, biometric facial recognition. I wonder. And it's sometimes in a family, at least I see with children who have similar faces or cousins and things like that, they'll put the wrong name up because it's not extremely accurate. So I was wondering if you guys had any other examples that were similar to what I found there. And lastly, here are my references that I utilized in preparation for this presentation. Thank you all for watching, and appreciate and look forward to your feedback that you'll have for me this week. And I want you all to know that all the presentations I've witnessed so far have been wonderful, and I've really gotten a lot out of them. So thank you all.